Hey guys, today I'm going to be unboxing the HG Gundam Thunderbolt Zaku II and Big Gun set, Gundam Thunderbolt Anime version. Yes, so here we have the second in the HG Gundam Thunderbolt line, in the anime version I should say, and it is kind of weird. I noticed this with the Thunderbolt Full Armor Gundam as well, is that it doesn't say anime version here at all anywhere. Here below the name, here it says Gundam Thunderbolt version, but it doesn't say anime, so I don't know. It's kind of just interesting that they didn't include that on the box anywhere. But this is, of course, the anime version, so the color is going to be slightly different for this particular set. The color, I mean, this set is probably the one that's the most different from the original set, just because the color difference is quite noticeable, especially on the Big Gun. On the other sets, it's like barely noticeable at all in just certain places, but with this one, you can definitely tell a big difference in the way that it's molded. The actual kit itself, though, is, of course, not going to be any different at all. But yeah, just some new colors. So if you're going to paint, it really doesn't matter. Like I said with the Full Armor Gundam, it's kind of weird that they did that, but I really don't care too much, just because, I mean, it just means that they're going to re-release the kit, and they weren't releasing the Thunderbolt kits that much before, so I'm just kind of happy about that. Again, love the box art for this one. I said that about the Full Armor Gundam as well. Not only is the artwork just really cool, I just love the layout that they have here with like the text here on the side. It's very similar to like recent Master Grade boxes, and just the white lining all around everywhere on all the edges looks really, really cool. So just have to say a big thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store again for sending me this kit to share with you guys. I have not built this. When it first came out, I was really interested in it, and then I just never got it. And then just like the purple color of the gun was in like purple and blue, and just looked really dumb. And I know, of course, you can paint it, but I don't know, it just kind of turned off to it at the time. So here on the side, we're just gonna have the same thing again. As I said with the Full Armor Gundam, there's apparently they're not going to be numbering these at all. So on the side is normally where you would see the number in a series, but this one they're apparently not numbering them. Here on the bottom, we're going to have it's not a still from the anime, although it almost looks like it, but that's actually just a painted build, but then just with some CG kind of added to it there. Here we can see a little picture of what it's going to look like from behind. Here's a kind of sort of front top-down image there. Definitely much better colors now, I think, and just kind of more gray. Just looks more simple and mechanical. And here just some artwork there about the Gundam Thunderbolt anime. So there's like one sign that it's from the anime, but it doesn't really even say it anywhere. Then here, just here's a look at what the Zaku is going to look like just by itself. And then just some kind of detail images about the Big Gun. Looks like you can use it in conjunction with an action base too, to sort of have the Zaku more up off the ground, I guess, like that. So it's more like floating in space. And then just some more information about that there. Some more information about the marking stickers here. And the retail price, 3,800 yen, so quite expensive, especially for an HG. Of course, this is in a pretty big box, but even still, that price does seem a little bit high, to be honest, considering like you can get most RGs for pretty much every single RG, as far as I can remember, is less than that. RE kits, which are 1/100 scale, and quite big, are always less than that as well. So I don't know, to be honest, that price seems a little bit too high. But here in the first bag, there's some parts for the Big Gun and some screws there as well. Interesting, I did not know. It's a really cool, the mechanical detail of that does look really, really nice. I did not know this kit had any screws. It's kind of interesting. Here's some, looks like just double the parts of that runner probably. There's smaller runners. There's some darker green for the Zaku, of course. Here's some black parts for the Zaku. There's all our stickers. Looks like two different sticker sheets actually. And regular lighter green for the Zaku, more gray and green and gray. The parts for the Zaku there again. More parts for the Zaku's weapons and backpack. And then polycaps here, a whole bunch of little thruster vernier things, and a couple of clear parts. And finally, we have two different manuals. I forgot about this, that this actually has two separate manuals. I remember when the kit first came out, I remember seeing about this, but yeah, this actually has 2 separate manuals, one just for the Zaku II, and then one for the big gun itself. I think that was because for the Zaku II to be sold separately, just by itself, so they wanted to make it kind of its own manual, I guess. So let's look at the Zaku II manual first. Here on the front, really nice big photo here. It's similar to basically what an HGUC layout would be. It's pretty much exactly the same. It's just missing some of the information there, some of the spec information. Maybe that's located somewhere else in the manual, I'm not sure. On the back here, again, just some more images there of is just going to be about the Zaku. So it's just going to be about the weapons and stuff for that. Here's all the marking sticker locations. And then finally at the bottom we have our color guide, so color marking guide there. Opening it up, here is just again information there about the anime, or the manga and the anime here separately. Again, just some more action shots, promo images there, our color page, we'll come back to that. The parts list, as you can see, not really going to have anything X'd out except for a couple of polycaps. So the construction is going to start off with the torso and then move to the waist, which is interesting. Don't have that combination very often. So torso, waist, putting all the body together, then moving on to the backpack. So interesting order for assembly here. After the backpack, then onto the head and arms, left arm and right arm, then putting the upper body together there. Then moving on to the legs, and then putting the body together, and then putting the fuel tanks onto the back. And then going around to our color page, we're going to be assembling the weapons. There's a Zaku machine gun, bazooka, and heat hawk, of course, and then we can mount all this stuff on the backpack and all of that. So let's then move on to the big gun. Here you can see the big gun image here on the front. Again, just nice big photo there. On the back, again, same, just kind of information. Here we have just the big gun itself pictured, front and back, and then our marking placements for that, and then color guide there at the bottom. On the inside, again, same information there. Here at the bottom, just same kind of photo stuff. Then we have our parts list for the big gun there, so it is going to be separate. We're going to be building the kind of energy containers, or kind of, what are those be, like power, I can't think of the word. Anyway, those can things that go on it, I forget the word I'm trying to think of, then the arms for that. And that's where we're going to be putting the screws, apparently, in the arms. Or legs, I guess, legs of the big gun it would be. Putting those together and then building the kind of barrel last, putting that on, and then just kind of putting everything together there at the end with the clear pieces going in last. And then on our color page, it's going to be assembling those things, which I thought we already assembled. Maybe not. Okay, anyway. And then just how to mount the Zaku's hands onto the handles shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Alright, let's get into the runners. So first up is going to be our marking stickers here, and we do have 2 sets. This is the set for the Zaku. There, quite a bunch there, including some really cool Xeon markings. And then this is the set for the big gun, mostly just kind of generic caution markings and things like that. Again, I won't be using these, so if you guys want these, leave a comment down below. The first one to leave a comment saying, I want those stickers, or something like that. Then I'll send these to you. Quite a lot here, so if you do use stickers, you'll be in luck. Then of course we have foil stickers too, and quite a lot of them. Here are the foil stickers for the Zaku II. As you can see, just loads there. Tons and tons. And then for the big gun as well, also lots and lots. A lot of these just going on like caps of screws and stuff like that, so gonna be very sticker heavy. And here's our screws. As you can see there, 6 screws and 6 nuts there. PC001 here for our polycaps, same as with the Thunderbolt Full Armor Gundam that we just took a look at before. But that one had a little bit more extra sections added on. This one is just the basic PC001 runner here. For the A runner, it's going to be all of our lighter colored parts for the Zaku II. All the parts are going to go in order. It's going to go all through the Zaku parts first, and then go on to the big gun parts later after that. So here we can see a bunch of these parts here, and the runner marking is going to be HG 1/144 scale Zaku TB Thunderbolt there. So interestingly, not Zaku II, just Zaku, but definitely some of these parts are specifically Zaku II, but anyway, whatever. Then runner B1 is going to be the rest of our lighter green colors here for the Zaku, just parts there for the head, feet, hands, and all of that. So it's going to have a few different hand options. Looks like maybe 3 different hand options there for the left and the right hands maybe. And that's interestingly only B1, there's no B2, so let's move on. C1 is all of our darker green colors here for the skirt armor, parts on the side of the chest, and in the waist section there for the Zaku. And then C2 is going to be in black. Here parts for the chest, feet, and elbows and kneecaps on there. Runner D is in sort of that sort of brownish gray color that we get for a lot of inner frame and joint parts as of late. And this is just all of our inner frame and joint parts for the kit. As you can see, it's in that kind of signature Thunderbolt style where the joints are molded to look like they're covered in cloth, kind of like outer space astronaut style. Runner E is going to have all of our backpack and weapons parts. So here's runner E1 with the first half. There you can see parts for the machine gun, bazooka, a few parts for the backpack. And then runner E2 is going to have more backpack parts, including the propellant tank and heat hawk on there as well. And finally, runner F is our energy cable parts, and this is the last runner of parts for the Zaku. As you can see, they're all also in that same kind of texture, looking really good, except for the ones that wrap around the waist, have this same kind of bent part. Like that was something that I complained about with the Origins kits. They had that, so when you bend that around the waist, you're gonna like bend it at those spots there. It doesn't look too bad, but because of the way this is molded, with all these little creases in there meant to look like fabric, that bend there is probably going to blend in a lot better than on the Origins kits, so hopefully it won't look too bad. Then moving on to the parts for the big gun, we have BA1. Now these are like labeled as BA, BB, BC, BD. I'm guessing B stands for big gun, or just B set, as in like A, B. Well, I don't know, I'm guessing big gun though. Usually that letter is something in correlation with the name when they do that. So here we have just a bunch of those parts in sort of a medium kind of grayish color here, and these runners are going to be labeled HG 1/144 Big Gun TB Thunderbolt, and BA2, which was a copy of a portion of the BA1 runner. And then runner BB1 is in a slightly different color gray here. This is more of a neutral gray. The first gray definitely had a little bit of a yellowish kind of tint to it, definitely not just a very neutral gray. This is definitely more of a neutral gray color. Parts for like the main body of the big gun, and then parts for the legs. So this would be like for one leg, 2 legs, and then we have runner B2, which is a copy of this section here, for making the 3rd leg. Then we have runner BC, which is just these 2 parts for inside the cannon that's molded in a little bit more purplish gray color, so it's cool to have all the different tones of gray going on here in the big gun. Runner BD1 is our 2 clear parts for the big gun, just here molded in clear red. And finally, runner BD2 is all these little thrusters and kind of joint caps here. Not really looking forward to this. This looks like a whole lot of not any fun. But that is going to be it. This one is, again, in the same kind of color as the BB runner. So I believe this is going to be the same color gray as there. So that's going to be it for unboxing the HG Zaku II and Big Gun Gundam Thunderbolt Anime version. Definitely a lot of stuff in there. So as I said before, it's got a lot of stuff in there, so that's why it's got the higher price, but I still think that 3,800 yen is still a little bit too expensive, considering that, again, that's more than you would pay for any real grade. And I think, although, I mean, I would have to actually weigh the plastic to see like how much plastic is actually there, but just in terms of parts, of course, any real grade is probably going to have more parts than this, especially if you get into something like the Freedom or Strike Freedom or something like that that has a big backpack on it. So I don't know, it's definitely looking like a really cool kit though, so I definitely am looking forward to checking it out. The price is just something that I am going to be kind of holding against it for the time being. But, you know, if it turns out to be a really nice kit, which I'm sure it will be, then, you know, I can't really fault it too much. Because even if it's a little bit expensive, if it's something that looks cool to you, then you just kind of gotta have it, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. If you do have any other questions or comments, of course, leave those down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the review. Bye bye.